Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm doing a get ready with me story time. So grab your coffee, grab your tea, grab your wine, whatever time of day it is, where you are, and let's sit down, have a chat, do our makeup, and I'm going to tell you a story about how I was followed home from a store employee last weekend. So I already did my brows off camera. That just makes life easier. I'm gonna go ahead and use this Pixi Rose Flash Balm. I got this in a little pack of samples from Pixi. I bought this at the drugstore last week. It was like a little sample pack of some of like the best products from Pixi. So in a month or so, once I finish all the products, I'll do a full review for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes using the NARS Pro Prime Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. Okay, so what had happened? So last Friday, I met up with my friend Alyssa. We went to a coffee shop, we had hot cocoa, it was delicious. Oh, it wasn't that good, it was like, it tasted like mature hot chocolate, like the hot chocolate, like adults drink. Like I want mine to be really sweet and full of whipped cream. This was like the dark hot chocolate, I kind of like milk hot chocolate, but anyway. So after we had our hot cocoa, we decided to go over to Marché Maisonneuve. So in Montreal, there are several markets like at different points of the city, and so we were out east, so we went to Marché Maisonneuve. I'm gonna go ahead and use my Urban Decay Naked Heat palette. I'm starting off with the color Sauced. So Alyssa and I go into the market, we kind of like meander around for quite a bit, and then we go into like the produce section, and they always have like the most beautiful produce display, like everything always looks so good and enticing. So we're kind of wandering around, and like I get this feeling that someone is like staring at me. Like girls, you know the feeling. Like you know the feeling when like you look over and like you know what I mean. So anyway, I look over and it's like one of the male cashiers who's like staring at me. And he does the weird thing where like when you turn to look at him, instead of like looking around or looking away, he just kind of like keeps staring like this. So I was like, okay, random weird cashier guy, whatever. So we buy a few things. I think Alyssa was buying groceries for her week because like she's a nurse, so she works like weird hours. So like for her Friday it was like Monday basically. We go to the cash with the creepy cashier. So Alyssa goes first and then I go second. And then when it's like my turn to pay, he's like trying to talk to me, asking me questions, like asking me where I'm from, and I'm just like, here's my money, thank you. So I don't really think anything of it. So we finish there and I don't really think much of it. We leave the market and Alyssa decides to go home because she lives like really far away from that market. And I had like a bunch of other errands I needed to get done. And I just kind of like meandered down, like poking into this store, poking into that store, you know. So I'm going into the shade called He Devil now. I'm just gonna place that here. And now I'm just blending that out. So going into the shade called Dirty Talk, I'm going to use this Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and I'm going to spritz my brush to make the color pop even more. So I'm like meandering down to this store, going to that store, getting some other errands done. And then all of a sudden I hear, hey, it's me from the market, it's me. And I was like, who the hell is that? And I look over and it's the same creepy cashier from the market. And he's like, hey, it's me. And I'm like, what? So I look at him and in my head I'm like, I really don't want to deal with you right now. So I cross the street. He's on the same side of the street as me, so I just cross the street because I'm like, I just don't. So I cross the street and I keep walking. I keep walking for about a minute and then I hear,
hey, it's me. It's me from the market. It's me.
And I realize the cashier is following me. So I keep walking. I'm walking at a faster pace now because I just don't want to deal with this stupid cashier. So I'm walking, and then all of a sudden I hear,
hey, it's me. It's me from the market. It's me.
At this point, he actually runs ahead of me, stands in front of me, blocks my way so that I have no choice but to speak to him, because making eye contact with him, ignoring him, crossing the street, walking faster was not enough of an indication that I wanted nothing to do with him. He actually took the time to follow me across the street, follow me, run ahead of me, and then be like, hey, it's me from the market. I was like, no, I don't understand like what was going on in his brain. So I just yelled, no, I couldn't think of anything else to say other than like, no, fuck you, fuck off. I don't know, but I was like, I just yelled out no, and then he was like, and then I just kind of ran home, and I don't know if he kept following me all the way home. I don't know if he followed me directly from the market. I don't know. And it was a really, really scary experience. It was pretty horrible. This market is one of my preferred ones to go to, but I don't think I will ever step foot at that market ever again because I don't feel like shopping at places where their employees follow you home. On the very off chance that there's a straight man watching this video, if a woman makes eye contact with you, ignores you, and then crosses the street to avoid you, don't follow her. Also, if you try to talk to a woman at your place of work and she wants nothing to do with you, don't follow her during the rest of her shopping. It's not gonna work for you, trust me. So after that happened, I just ran home as quickly as humanly possible, but it was just like such a terrifying experience. I'm like, did he follow me directly from the market? Did he continue following me all the way home? So many questions. I mean, I'm not a man, clearly, but if I try to get someone's attention and they make eye contact with me and then they cross the street, I don't follow them. I don't chase after them like a dog in the street to get their attention. You'd think at some point he'd have some sort of like sense of pride or self-respect to be like, this person wants nothing to do with me. I'm gonna move on to someone who actually wants to talk to me, you know? But that's just me in my opinion. So once I got home, I was terrified and really pissed off. Oh, by the way, I'm going into the Urban Decay Alkaline eyeliner here. So I arrive home terrified and pissed off. So the next morning, I actually called the local police station because I just wanted, like, I was just really, really pissed off. Like, I'm still pretty angry about it, to be honest. So I spoke to someone on the phone and they basically told me that technically nothing illegal happened. Since he did not actually touch me or grab me, that's fine, apparently. Since he possibly stopped following me once I yelled no in his face, that's fine. Since he did not show up on my doorstep, that's technically fine. And I was told that it doesn't really count as like harassment because he stopped when I yelled no in his face. So if he had continued to follow me, if he had tried to like grab onto me, then that would have counted as like actual harassment or assault or stalking or whatever. And since there were no actual police there at the time being, it would just be a case of he said, she said. The only witnesses to what happened are me and him. So I'm claiming something and he will most likely claim something else. They told me that if this happened again, that I should just call 911 directly. What I find weird is if I'm supposed to call 911 directly, if this happens again, why is it that now that I'm talking to a police officer after it happened, it's considered not a crime? Is it the idea that in order for anything to happen, that there has to be a police officer who actually witnesses something happening? Somehow my word doesn't count? I don't understand, because if I had called 911 last Friday and I told the guy, oh, I'm calling the police on you because you're following me, do you think he would have sat still in a corner and waited for the police to come talk to him? He would have run away as fast as he could, which would have been like good in a way because he would have left me alone. But then what would have happened? The police would have showed up, I would have given a vague description, and like, I don't see how there's any resolution in that. I just don't understand why me saying something happened doesn't count as enough evidence or enough proof. That's really messed up. And also, somehow, you know, this kind of behavior is not considered illegal, but if you jaywalk, you can get an $80 fine. I know that because one of my friends got a massive ticket for jaywalking. Somehow that's illegal, but this is not. I just don't understand why somehow my word is not taken as like fact. What exactly do I gain from this? I now have to switch markets because I am never going back there. It just seems like the priorities are really messed up. I'm hoping that talking about this will give me some sense of like catharsis, because I've just been pretty pissed off about the whole situation all week. Not only because of what happened, but also just because the whole situation has left me feeling like the system is broken and the policies that are in place are there to protect some people, but those people aren't me. And the older I get, the more I understand libertarians. Like, I'm like, you know, maybe I should just get like a shotgun and sell all of my earthly belongings, go off the grid, and just live in a hut in the woods and live by the laws of nature. Honestly, because I'm like, well, they're the people that are supposed to be here to protect and serve aren't really doing it, you know? And I understand that as far as the police are concerned, you know, they're dealing with like human trafficking and drug dealers and rapists and murderers and et cetera, et cetera. So like someone calling and telling them about being followed home by some shitty cashier probably doesn't resonate that high on their like list of emergencies. However, I would argue that people like this guy probably escalate. I am not a psychiatrist or a criminologist by any means. However, I do watch a lot of true crime, and all of those guys on those shows, they all start by doing something. I wrote about this on my personal Facebook page last weekend when it happened, and the support was amazing. I mean, I think I would just like, it's one of those things that when it happens, your mind is racing so quickly, like you're kind of going into panic mode, like you're just like breathing so fast and thinking so fast, and you're just kind of like in like a, what's it called? Like that survival mode where you're like fight or flight. You know, I'm not a military personnel. I am not someone who's in the police force, so I don't have any kind of like panic training, so I don't know how to like react in those situations. And so that was like the best way I knew how to react, was just to like kind of run and then just like scream no in his face. Like that was like my defense mechanism. It's just so creepy to think that someone can just go about their day and make another human being feel so unsafe and so terrified, and for them it's just like a normal Friday evening, you know? That's really messed up. I just gonna go ahead and use this NYX color correcting palette. That's just like the really scary part, because I'm like, is he kind of a pervert? Is he just like a big creepy douchebag? Is he just really, really dense? You know, like when I mentioned before, like you'd think at some point he would have some sort of like self-pride to be like, okay, well this woman really doesn't want to talk to me. I'm gonna like move on. It's kind of like when you have a friend and you haven't spoken to them in so long, and you're like, every time you try to see them, they're like, oh, I'm really busy, I'll let you know when I have the day off. And after a certain point, you're kind of like, okay, you know what? When you have the day off, you let me know, and then you kind of like let it go, and then when they're ready, they'll talk to you. So I can't imagine like seeing someone down the street and then like running after them and desperately trying to get their attention and having them like cross the street and avoid me and all the stuff and still like being desperate about it. I don't know, I find that quite puzzling. So for the foundation, I'm actually going to try this sample of this Born This Way foundation I got from Sephora. I'm going to try the sample called Light Beige. Hopefully that works for me. I think one of the most unsettling things about the whole situation is like, did he follow me directly from the market? Did he stop following me once I yelled no in his face? Because he clearly doesn't seem to have any sense of common sense. It's very creepy, it's very icky. The whole situation is gross and unsettling and not very nice. So I'm using my beauty blender here to apply. Let me know down in the comments if you think this foundation is too light or too dark, or what you guys think. If it is a question of him just being really, really dense, can you imagine the amount of women he has terrified in his life with his stupidity? So Monday morning, guess what I did? I called the market. So I was like, I need to speak to a manager, please. I'm like, you want to follow me home? You want to follow me when I do my groceries? You want to be a big creep when I'm at the cash? You want to stare at me while I'm shopping in the produce section? Well, guess what, bitch? I'm going to call your boss. So I did. But I didn't speak to his boss. I spoke to his boss's boss. This is the Lancôme Long Lasting Under Eye Concealer. So I spoke to his boss's boss, and I told her the entire situation. I told her exactly what I've been telling you. I let her know that one of her employees likes to creep on customers when they're in the store and then harass them in the street. Just so you know, lady, this is the sort of people you hired. And you know what? It wasn't even my idea to call his boss. Do you know whose idea it was? The police. They told me, we can't do anything about this, but if you call his employer, they can do something about it. So I did. And if anyone's in the comments saying, oh, you shouldn't have called his boss, that's too much, you should have just, he was just trying to talk to you, he wanted to talk to you. Well, the next time you get followed home by some shitty cashier, you let me know how that feels, and you let me know how you handle it, okay? So when I spoke to the owner, manager, person responsible for the entire market, she told me that she was going to contact the produce department and let them know what happened and let that manager take it from there. So I have no idea what the following repercussions are. This is the Collistar No. 4 bronzer, and the whole thing is so like I said, just so icky. So when it was happening, it was so scary. Like I could feel like my heartbeat like in my throat. I was just like thinking so fast and trying to think like, wait, there's a salon there, maybe I should run into the salon and like scream like, ah, help! Your brain starts to think, is this really happening? Because like it's not normal for someone to like run after you in the street like that. That's really fucked up. So while it's happening, your brain is trying to process things and it's trying to like normalize things. So you keep thinking, okay, no, this can't be right. He's gonna go away. It's fine. But then he doesn't go away and it's not fine. So then you're left with the decision of, well, I guess I have to act like a crazy person and start screaming at him in the street for him to leave me alone, because otherwise he's not gonna stop following me. And the whole thing is just so disorienting and like not pleasant. This is the Amazonian Clay Concept Blush here. And then of course, MAC Beaming Blush Highlight, my fave. I'm hoping that talking to you guys about this kind of gives me some release, some catharsis. I don't know. I don't really know what I hope to get out of talking to you guys about this. I think part of it is that I know that as like creepy and terrible as it is, I know that in 2017, most of you watching this video will have had an experience similar or just like this, which is kind of gross. Especially when you think about this is like, it's so gross, but also like so apparently not illegal. So now I'm going to finish off my makeup look with this Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. When I wrote about this on my Facebook page, it was actually kind of funny some of the comments that I got, because someone was saying, my friend Raven was like, oh, you should like carry pepper spray with you, and then Nick was like, well, actually that's like technically illegal in Canada, so if you call the cops on someone and you have pepper spray, you'll get in trouble. And Missy was like, well, why don't you just carry a can of like spray paint so you can like blind them, and also you make like a giant X on them so like when the police go to find them, they know who it is. Okay, so I just took the foundation off of my lips. I think I will wait a little bit to dry my hair. I'm going to keep this in a plop for a couple more hours, and then I'll dry it. I'll probably pose for a thumbnail then. So I think I forgot to mention this at the beginning of the video, but make sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can know whenever I post a new video. I don't think I'll be posting too many story times. I was followed home by a store employee too often. I really don't want to. That's really not what I have envisioned for my channel. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. I always appreciate you guys watching my videos. I hope you guys have an amazing day, amazing weekend, amazing week, an amazing holiday, whatever you guys are doing. I hope you have an amazing time and surrounded by people who love and support you. And thank you guys so much for stopping by. I really, really appreciate you guys watching my videos. It means a lot to me. So I will see you guys on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So that's all I have for you guys for today. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye.